Hello everybody, welcome back to the Overlap Breakdown podcast. I'm joined this week as always by my good friend Umay, who's a professional analyst and scout in football, and we're going to be covering all the big talking points from the weekend's action. But first of all, how have you been doing? You've been okay? Good weekend?
Good. Yeah, busy as always. I feel like this is my spiel. I say busy as always.
Yeah.
So let's get into the football.
Let's get into the football.
There's a game that we both previewed.
Yeah.
By the way, the reception on that, really nice. So
yeah, thank you very much for that, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate
it was really well received, and there are going to be more to come. So thank you very much. And we're going to kick right off with that game because I think me and you were quite proud of the analysis because it was pretty accurate.
Well,
yeah. Anyway, so it was Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. Very, very interesting game, I'm going to say. I think I'm not sure. I thought it was quite even on the whole game. I think it was quite even. I think Chelsea had more of the lion's share of the possession.
Yep.
They had the highest passing accuracy at Anfield since 2004 in the Premier League, away at Anfield. So by any Premier League team in the past 20 years, no one's had a higher pass completion. And I think that kind of puts testament to how well Maresca set Chelsea up, but obviously they didn't win the game, so you could also put it down to how well Slot or how he set up in terms of
played
to allow
a little bit
them
into their hands. Yeah.
I'm just going to go right from the top and say that what we covered with the box in the midfield on the tactics board is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Well, not kind of what happened, that's what happened. But then we also saw something different from Liverpool in terms of them not applying too much pressure on the ball. Obviously, for Chelsea to have the highest passing accuracy in the past 20 years at Anfield in the Premier League, there has to be some sort of element of Liverpool not pressing the ball as much for them to have that. So what did you make of Liverpool out of possession? Why did Liverpool not have as much as the ball as maybe people expected them to?
Yeah, I think we've seen it a little bit with Slot Liverpool throughout the season. We're very used to that sort of Klopp style of high pressure, pushing sort of on the last line. And we've seen that in that same 4-2-4 shape as we previewed. But I think what we've seen at times is to set up in more of this mid-block shape, entice the opposition onto them a little bit. And then when there is the ability to win the ball, then you break fast with your players like Diaz, with your players like Salah. And in sort of reducing those distances instead of trying to push as high, because we know, and we spoke about this before, the ability that Chelsea have in attacking the space in behind with your Palmers, with your Jacksons, etc., that's where they're almost most dangerous. Mm-hmm. We saw it with Wolves trying to engage in that sort of high pressing sort of style against Chelsea, and they conceded how many goals for it? Do you know what I mean?
Brighton game as well, there was a lot of counter-attacking goals.
Yeah, so in that sort of fashion, I think setting up in a mid-block doesn't invite too much pressure, where, you know, your home fans and your home crowd are going to be upset at how you're setting up, but you're also reducing some of that space in behind your own defence, and you're applying a little bit of pressure in sort of that middle third. So I think that probably explains some of the rationale from Slot.
Would you say it was more? Would you say it was a Maresca? The way Maresca set up, would you say it was good for Maresca, or would you say Slot kind of noticed that they were going to attack space in behind and kind of limited them of the space they could? So was it a good decision from Slot? I thought Chelsea were just like a few inches away here and there to having a proper goal scoring opportunity, and then I don't know whether or not I thought it was a good choice to do that from a Liverpool perspective, but ultimately they won the game. And they won the game in one instance by, well, all the big chances in the first half especially come from the transitions, which he set up to play for. So I think Maresca got a lot of flowers for yesterday. I think it's like the first time in a long time where a big team has gone away to a big ground and put in a performance that's not won them the game, but it's enough to kind of go to the fans, look, we're trying to do something. So I think Chelsea fans, it was obviously not. It's not good to get beat at Anfield. It's never good to lose a game, no matter who it's against. But I think Maresca does deserve a little bit of credit for how he set up and kind of the chances they generated. Obviously, he can't really account for the penalty mistake and the Robert Sanchez potential error on the second goal. But kind of moving away from Chelsea, I wanted to obviously praise Liverpool for how good they were, and they did win the game. I want you to touch on one player, and I'm going to touch on one.
Go on.
You can touch on the second goal scorer.
Fine.
Who is one of your favourite players, and to be fair, you have said it for years. So, go on. How good was Curtis Jones in this game?
Curtis Jones, I mean, I've spoken about Curtis Jones. When he first broke onto the scene, very much sort of a left-sided, almost a left winger kind of player. He had that brilliant goal, I think, very early on. I think it was against Everton. Left side, curled it in. Brilliant. Almost like a Coutinho-esque goal. But from what I've seen from Curtis Jones, following him through the England setup as well, he's a player who